There we go. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Had some minor technical issues this morning, but here we are. Finally. Finally, I know. So we were just talking about before we went live how computers now kind of want to be your friend. They got these AIs or whatever, Cortana and all this other crap that's just lowest common denominator. And instead of just, remember MS-DOS, how the computer just did what you wanted it to and didn't try to be cute.
Yeah, you need to know a secret code to do anything.
I mean, kind of, yeah. In DOS, you did, but
yeah, it's kind of like using Linux.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Linux is like
10 lines of code to fucking open a program.
Yeah.
No, don't get all crazy, Linux people.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking it. I'm not.
Don't go nuts in the comments section.
I mean, I will be the first to admit there's something about sitting in front of the computer,
right?
Like CSI
with the green glow, clickety clacking away. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like hackers.
Right. There was a show for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were talking about throwback stuff too. I'm trying to get stuff working, but
we should start calling this show like ADD theater.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? It kind of is. That's what I'm probably gonna do for my like nighttime shows. Is just like ADD presents.
What's it? What's it?
Ooh, what's going on? Ooh, look. I know. Okay, so you guys got your anniversary party coming up this weekend.
Third anniversary.
Right around the corner.
Gonna be a blast.
Speaking of, so the whole reason on Facebook that the title is Facebook Sucks is because it would not accept any of my titles that I put in. It kept saying Facebook says the name is invalid.
It's probably the Patriotic Few. Facebook's probably like done with us.
Yeah, dude, I don't even know.
Have you seen a thing going around? Like, so I've been seeing this post. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it's like a picture of an eagle. It's like, it's benign. Okay. It's really benign.
Yeah.
And they covered it up. They're like possibly disturbing or violent content. Holy so apparently crap. wanting your country to be a good country is violent or disturbing content.
Yeah. I've seen several warnings on Facebook like that. One of them, a guy showed it was like Jesus on the Mount or something giving a sermon, and Facebook covered it up as disturbing content. I'm like, what the shit?
Because let's be realistic, fucking decency and patriotism and all that other stuff, all the things that make our country great, are under attack.
Oh, absolutely.
You know me. I've always been a very staunch proponent of live and let live.
Mm-hmm.
You want to fucking call yourself a fucking helicopter or fucking kitty cat or whatever.
Yeah.
You want to fucking dress up like goddamn Naruto and run with your arms back like a fucking retard. Whatever.
Yeah.
Do fine.
Yeah,
it's not my way. I don't like it, but who the fuck am I to tell you any different?
Right.
But don't fucking try to make traditional lifestyles extinct.
Yeah. And not only that, that's part of it. And I do believe, by the way, that there is a much bigger issue here at play with people pulling the strings and forcing, this type of shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've said it, countless times that, you want people to be confused, you want people to be divided.
Right. But the problem comes in, go live your life, be who you are, who you think you are, who you want to be, whatever. But when you start forcing people to alter their language,
right,
that's opposition to free speech. I can say whatever I want. And it's your choice whether or not to become offended.
Right.
I mean, it's that simple. You control your emotions.
Well,
And
to a degree,
to a
but your
degree,
emotions don't play into somebody else's fucking life.
That's the point, right? You're in
Like,
charge of
that,
your...
That's what we're calling bullying now. When you say something that offends somebody, you're bullying them.
Yeah.
That's not bullying, okay? If you've ever really been bullied, if you've ever had your ass stomped, if you've ever had your face stuck in a fucking toilet or stuck into a fucking locker, you know, if you ever had like somebody put glue on you, you know, like, you know, your new shoes get ruined because somebody dumped ink on them or something, that's bullying. Not like, oh, he hurt my feelings. I gotta get a fucking helmet, okay?
Right.
Shit. Yeah, get you a Phillip helmet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, put your
helmet.
It's an obscure reference to a Saturday Night Live skit.
Oh, okay.
It was a
Back
Mike.
when Saturday Night Live was good.
Yeah, it was a Mike Myers thing.
Okay.
He would play a character that was like, you know, just he was hyperactive and hypoglycemic.
Okay.
He was a hypo. So he like would wear this helmet. You know, he'd wear his name was Phillip, so he'd wear the little, you know, bump helmet.
Okay.
And he was on a fucking tether. So he would always run to the end of the tether and
he was with his Wrangler.
You know, so he was always on the playground like that, talking to some other little kid who was played by the guest star.
Okay.
That's why I keep calling it a Phillip helmet.
Okay.
Like I said, it's an obscure reference.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, so if you ever fucking YouTube, you know, Saturday Night Live Phillip or Mike Myers Phillip, you know, you'll probably see the skits. If you know, who is that? Lorne Michaels, the guy who does Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
He like is on this crusade to take all of Saturday Night Live shit off of anything free.
Right.
So, you know,
God forbid.
that's my intellectual property.
Yeah. Right.
Anywho.
All of them. All these Hollywood fucks, man.
I'm on a rant now.
Yeah, it's going now. With that fuse.
Yeah. fuck Facebook.
Yeah, so that was the whole thing behind the Facebook title. Facebook sucks because it just kept, no matter what I changed it to, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Until I took Patriotic Few out of the name and replaced that with Facebook sucks. All of a sudden it worked.
Yeah.
Because that's okay, but
because they know. Because they know. They're finally admitting it.
Yeah.
You know, old Zuckerberg's, you know, finally coming forward and saying, yeah, they did tell us that we had to, you know, only post certain things. And
we went okay.
Yeah, because, you know, you can't buck the system.
Right.
You know, just following orders.
Right. Just following orders. Exactly. Yeah.
Which that's the thing too, is like we have come to a point where we have chronologically gotten far enough away from atrocities where, you know, just following orders is an okay excuse again.
Oh yeah. People conveniently forget that, you know, that's not a good reason. That's like during the pandemic.
Pandemic.
Right? You know, that it totally didn't start in a lab. That whole thing and the censorship thing, but the police officers that were enforcing mask mandates and marching in the street, shooting people on their porch, and
and all that.
What state was that? Minnesota, wasn't it? Pretty sure that was Governor Walz that was in charge of that little. Anyway,
you really want to get me fucking? You want to pull my string on Walz?
You know what? I do want to touch real quick though, because you were in one of the branches, so you, in my opinion, are at least qualified to discuss it
to a small degree, yes.
But for those, like, for example, me, I didn't serve, I tried, but it didn't come to fruition, right? So I feel a little about even discussing the fact that, you know, Walz was in the National Guard for
you want to come from a place of knowledge,
right?
I get that.
Yeah, so that's why I try to refer people to the Angry Cops video where he talked about it, which you have your own experience with.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go into that whole thing.
I'm not talking about my old lady on camera. That ain't happening.
Well, apparently you are, though.
No, it's
No, we look. My old lady and I have fairly spirited conversations when it comes to politics because we don't see eye to eye.
right.
I mean, we both agree the government sucks and shit's messed up.
And politicians, and
Yeah,
as a rule, are evil.
but you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. My point wasn't to get you to talk about that in particular. But it's easy to get confused because by the media and by the mixed messaging, because you talk about stolen valor to at least to those who haven't served means someone claiming they served when they didn't. That's kind of the
it's way more nuanced than that.
Yeah, but it turns out it's way more nuanced than that.
Yeah, you can serve.
Okay.
I mean, because like myself, you know, I make no bones about my military career. What it was, what it wasn't. You know, so I went through basic, I went through AIT. I was, you know, transferred to my reserve unit.
Right.
I had some problems with my reserve unit, mostly with transportation. I didn't have a reliable vehicle. They had me way out in Arlington Heights. Yeah. And then
it turns out there was a place really close to you.
Yeah, there was a place really close I could have got a ride to.
Yeah.
That was looking for my MOS.
Yeah, but they didn't even tell you about that.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, I won't cut into your story.
Yeah.
You tell it.
And you know, when I mentioned that,
yeah,
you know, my company commander lost his ever-loving mind. And then, you know, like a month or two after that, I was deactivated.
Yeah.
They put me on inactive Ray Reserve status, and that's how I spent the remainder of my, you know, tenure as, you know, in the military. You know, where if you don't know inactive Ray Reserve, you don't have to go to drills. You still have all your PX privileges. You have all your VA privileges. You still have all the privileges of me. You're still in the Army.
Yeah.
Basically, what happens is they call you when they need you.
Yeah.
If there's a war and they need to fill the numbers, they're calling you up because you're still in.
Yeah.
That generally happens like I said, my information is very dated.
Well,
I was in the early 90s.
Yeah.
But like, especially like reserves, after you do your time, there's a period of time where they can just call you back.
Okay.
You know, you're out, you know, you're out.
Yeah.
But if something pops off, you know, it's in your contract that, you know, for this amount of time, we can just call you back in.
There's like a reactivation clause kind of
Yeah,
thing?
something like that. You're basically at the top of the draft list.
Okay.
So that is what it is. Like I said, my information is incredibly dated,
Right. But there are different levels of stolen valor.
Oh yeah. Like just to put in the very lowest common denominator, if you say you did something military wise and you didn't, that's stolen valor.
Okay.
You know, if you say you're this rank and you weren't, stolen valor. If you say you were in this unit and you weren't, that's stolen valor.
Okay.
You know, if you say you deployed here and you didn't, stolen valor.
Okay.
You know, anytime you lie about your military career in any regard.
Okay, whether you had one or not.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
You know, and in Governor Walls's case, you know, and I won't go into all the fucking details of that, but, you know, he claimed, and he was conditionally an E9.
Yeah.
He was conditionally a command sergeant major.
Okay.
However, he did not finish the academy, which is one of the conditions of keeping that rank.
Retaining the rank, yeah.
He did not serve 2 years after he completed the academy they didn't complete.
Right.
Which is a condition of keeping E9.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so when he got out, And it took some time. He didn't even sign his DD 214.
Yeah. Yeah, it said soldier not available or something like that.
Yeah.
To sign. Yeah.
Soldier not present to sign.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You couldn't even. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, then watch Angry Cop's video on it. He comes from a place of knowledge.
Right.
He has sources inside the military that he consults with. He talks to people in the military. He does his research. He'll give you the facts, and then he'll give you his opinion.
Right.
And, he can come across as a little abrasive, but he will give you the facts as he sees them.
Yeah. Is he an actual drill sergeant?
He is a reserve drill sergeant,
Okay.
yes.
So he is, in fact, a drill sergeant.
Yeah. He's still, I don't remember if he's reserves or National Guard at this point. But he is still in the military.
Mm-hmm.
He is also a police officer in Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
For what it is or what it isn't.
Right.
I don't know anything about his police career.
Right.
Apparently it's been pretty controversial.
Yeah.
But I haven't done any deep dives into that.
Right.
So I'm not going to speak to his police career.
Yeah, I've just watched his YouTube videos, which I found extremely informative.
But, Sergeant High, if you happen to catch this somewhere, love your show.
Right? Yeah, it's a really good show. And I liked how he presented the information on walls as well. Because for me, I'm not familiar with all the terms and all the ranks and all.
And he'll break that down for you.
Yeah, which is why I found it such a good video.
And that's another thing that bothered me about this whole situation with Walls and the sergeant major thing.
Right.
So I found out, and I didn't know.
Okay.
I found out that when you go to the academy, there's two different ranks that you have to pick.
Right.
You have to pick one of them for your E9 status.
It's your prestige class, like in video games, right? When you level up and you get to a certain rank, you got to pick your prestige.
Cool story, nerd. So you could be a sergeant major, which is not a command position.
Okay.
Okay. You support command, but you're not actually commanding troops.
Okay.
You support the commander.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's command sergeant major, where you actually command the troops
on the battlefield. Yeah.
You are essentially, in this context, as I understand it, above the commanding officer.
Okay.
You're actually commanding the troops.
Right. Or at minimum, working with the commanding officer.
Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah. Well,
you are the commanding officer, but
you're
interpreting.
You're the guy.
Yeah.
In this context, you're the guy. You're actually directly commanding your battalion or whatever
size.
Yeah. So you could have picked sergeant major, just regular ass sergeant major, pays the same.
Yep.
Same pay grade, essentially the same rank, but you're not in direct command of troops. You're supporting troops. You're doing logistics. You're at headquarters. You're doing headquarters stuff.
Yeah.
But he chose to directly command troops.
Mm-hmm.
Told his troops he was going to be their commanding sergeant major for the deployment.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple months later decided, I'm going to go into politics, so I'm going to have to retire, which, again, is bullshit. You can, do both.
Mm-hmm.
You can be in and
look at Tulsi Gabbard.
I was just about to mention Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
But, you have to inform the Secretary of Defense, and they will make concessions.
Yep.
I mean, can they tell you no?
Sure.
Yeah. But, especially if you win the primary.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah. They're going to do what they can for you.
Yeah. They're going to make sure that you stay safe site.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, the whole thing is just highly suspect and just own up to it.
Right. That's
You know.
So I guess the latest one making the rounds, and this is actually pretty old, but the latest one making the rounds is he claimed to be a combat veteran, which I guess is making people a lot more angry than the whole sergeant major thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because during a rally, I think when he ran for governor, when
he's talking about, the guns that I use.
Yeah, the guns that I carried in war. You never saw war, dude.
Yeah.
And my understanding is that combat vets in particular are like, okay, yeah, I don't care what you say about your rank, but now you've crossed the line.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's a big deal to some guys. Right?
That is a huge, stolen valor is like a cardinal sin.
Yeah.
For military folk.
Yeah.
It's like, especially for the people who did. The people who, went out there and they were in the shit and saw their buddies die.
Right.
And stuff like that. I was never in combat. I missed it.
Yeah.
I was in during Desert Storm.
At the tail end.
At the tail end of Desert Storm. I missed my chance to go. I still have mixed feelings about it. But if they had told me, you're going, well, guess what? I'm going because that's what I signed up for.
Right.
At the end of the day, regardless of what my MOS is or what branch I decide to go into, I went National Guard. I'm not supposed to go. Shut up. They tell you to go, you go.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
Talked about that before.
Yeah. That's just how it fucking goes.
Yeah.
And if you didn't go and you said you did, big no. Big fucking no.
Yeah.
I've got, I've known people that died over there.
Right.
Like I had a guy that I worked with, when I was working at Taco Bell.
Oh, wow. Way back in the day.
Yeah. That, signed up because, that was the best way he could think of to support his new family.
Yeah.
So he signed up. He was deployed to Iraq, got blown up by an IED. Left a widow.
Yeah. Some young bride.
And it's so for somebody to say, and I'm not, because I don't know. I know it's going. I know it's making the rounds. I have not checked his military record in depth to that point to say whether he did or didn't. So I will say, if he didn't go and he said he did.
Well, his excuse is that he used the wrong grammar.
Right, and that was what I was just about to get to was, he probably used it as a turn of phrase, which again is kind of insulting. Yeah. But
I think that's even worse than.
Oh no. So and that's the thing is you can tell he's a politician,
right?
Because he says things that heavily imply something, but well, I never actually said that.
Right.
The thing that bothers me is, you saw the coin.
Yeah, the challenge coin.
Yeah, the challenge coin, for the House of Representatives that's got his, bullshit rank on it.
His non-existent rank.
The
rank he didn't achieve.
Yeah. Well, he did technically, conditionally.
Yeah, was he promoted to that technically, but he didn't fulfill the terms of the contract.
Right, so he was reduced in rank. Right. And that's bothering a lot of people.
Yeah.
And, we all know that the military does everything slow.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to paperwork.
True.
But still, for it to go years before they go, oh, look at this oversight. There's, doesn't smell like roses.
Right. Doesn't pass the smell test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There are a lot of things in the higher echelons of the government these days.
And that in particular really makes me want to look into his other so-called achievements. Like everybody knows he's governor of Minnesota.
Right.
My father lives in Minnesota. I can call my dad right now and go, "Hey, how is he as a governor?"
Yeah.
And my dad will give me,
His honest opinion.
Oh yeah, his brutally honest opinion.
Yeah.
You know, one way or the other.
One way or the other, yeah. Yeah, your dad's a very forthright individual, which explains a lot.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, dude, I was like, your dad was so cool, man.
You know, everybody.
You're one of the few that had a dad, right?
Yeah.
So out of the circle of people that I knew, most of the kids came from fatherless homes.
Yeah.
I was an only child with a single mom. My little buddy Mike, his mom, single mom, him and his little brother, a couple other ones that we moved around all the time.
Yeah.
So did you and there it is. You and one other person that I can think of off the top of my head had dads.
Mm-hmm.
And yours was by far way cooler than his dad.
Well, like, to be honest, growing up, I always loved my dad.
Yeah.
But especially in my teenage years, I found him very irritating.
I could see that. I could see being around all the time.
And it was absolutely infuriating to have my friends come over and go, "Your dad's so cool.
Yeah, your dad's so awesome."
No,
he's not. He's a dick.
Yeah, he's not. He's a fucking asshole. He says dumb things. He's irritating.
Right.
He's just an old man. Now that I'm older and older.
Yeah.
I understand a lot more the mindset.
Yeah.
And it like you said, my dad was present, even through my father divorced my mother not once, but twice.
Yeah.
So my home situation was very interesting
and unusual.
But my father was always present. He was always doing everything he could.
Mm-hmm.
He did the best he could with what he had, which wasn't much.
I think that's all we can ask, though.
Mm-hmm. And I won't go into some of the storytelling of all that, number one, for time purposes, and number two, not to, put, personal shit out there.
I mean, that's the point of these, though.
Yeah, but there's some things that
there's some shit that, you just don't need to throw out on the internet.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Look, we all had our...
I mean, I'll air my dirty laundry. I don't care.
Yeah, that's...
but somebody else... That's something people need to learn too.
Okay.
Is like, why are you putting everybody else's business out there?
Okay.
Regardless of what unless it's like a, public safety risk or something like that.
Okay.
But if you're pissed at somebody, you don't like something that somebody does, why are you going to put it out on the internet for everybody in the world to know? Yeah. Especially when you're coming from a place of emotion.
True.
Because you always throw your little angry spin on it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to, when you're all up in your feelings, you're not exactly going to be fair.
Right.
Most people. I mean.
Yeah. And I think that's perfectly natural. When you're pissed off, you're going to have a hard time seeing both sides of the
everybody does
issue.
it.
Sure.
You've done it. I've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is, especially when you you call it. It's the online version of calling your friend to rant, but obviously the difference is online.
Now you're doing it to complete fucking strangers all over the world.
Yeah.
And, actions have consequences.
True.
You people don't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Not only like online, but just all over.
In general.
Yeah. In general. They think that there's no consequences ever.
Yeah, ever.
I think not enough people have been punched in the fucking mouth.
Yeah. Well, the Tyson quote, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think about it all the time, probably more than I should.
Lives rent free.
Yeah. Yeah. I see just somebody just have an absolute idiotic take on something. And then, okay, fair enough. You're a moron. But then you get these people in the comments.
Yeah.
Some of the shit they
say. And
you
can usually tell. Like, I've had people at work that I would be talking to them and they're irritating as fuck.
Yeah.
And, they're talking. I'm like, And I've said this to people. I'm like, you talk like somebody who has never been punched in the fucking mouth.
Yeah.
And 9.9 times out of 10, they'll go, well, I haven't.
Yeah. Yeah. Funny you should mention that.
Yeah. Well, you fucking should.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
it gives you an attitude adjustment really quickly.
It gives you perspective.
Perspective. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gives you perspective.
Because, like, you've been punched in the mouth. I've been punched in the mouth.
Yep.
You know, it gives perspective.
Especially, look, I think it's really, really important, formative years, not necessarily your dad, right? But a male role model, that's part of the problem with today's society. We have so few male role models. Positive male role models. But in the traditional family unit, right, you have your mom and dad, and then you generally have an uncle or best friend or someone who represents another external positive male influence, right?
Right.
That person usually is the fun thrower, right? They'll pick you up, take you for a ride.
Yeah, because they don't have a horse in a race.
Yeah, and usually,
I mean, it's not that they don't care.
No,
it's just, you know, it's not my job to be your disciplinarian.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll pick you up, fill you full of candy and energy drink, shake you up, and throw you back at them and take the fuck off.
Yeah, because it's funny.
Because it's funny, right? And then, you know, they're bitching at you. That's the one that generally buys like the noisy ass toys and this shit like the drum set, you know.
Right.
So
yeah, and you know, while we're on that topic, you know, that's you know, my old lady and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of things,
right?
But we have kind of agreed on the dynamic. Okay. Number one, we're unified. Regardless of how we feel, one feels about the other. When we're together and there's the kids involved, we have a unified front.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's really important.
You don't undermine your significant other. You know, you can have a discussion about it later when they're not around.
But you always back.
Yeah. Regardless.
Yeah.
You know, and
even if you disagree,
that segues into so many other things, but whatever.
For now.
And you know, I had a discussion with my old lady one time early on, when our kids were very young, and she's like, you know, you don't need to be so hard on them. I'm like, well,
you're a strict motherfucker, dude. I'm just gonna.
Okay, and I'll admit that.
Yeah,
I'll admit that. You know, I'm not perfect.
It's not about being perfect.
You know, I don't strike my children, but sometimes I get a little extra.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and she said that, and I went, yeah, I understand that. I'm working on finding that balance. However, there are specific roles that we play. Like, you are geared towards, and this isn't a statement about women or anything else. This is just our personal dynamic.
Your personal dynamic.
And her personality, my personality. Yeah. You're the nurturer.
Right.
You're the encourager. You're the one that, you know.
The permissive one.
You know, the one that builds them up.
Right. It's your job to tear them down.
Well, no, it's not.
I know.
That sounds really bad when you say it like that.
But you have to reinforce.
You know, she is the nurturer.
Reality.
I am the disciplinarian.
Right.
You know, she, you know, encourages them, builds them up. I keep them, you know, grounded in reality.
Right. That's a much better.
You know, because she's not as suited to that as I am.
Right.
Just as I'm not as suited to the nurturing.
Yeah.
As she is.
Yeah.
And that's just our personality types. That's not to say that I don't love my kids. I don't encourage them, because I do.
You do, and you do. I've seen it.
But.
No, I'm just kidding.
But at the same time, you know, I'm the one that tells them when they're out of bounds.
Right.
You know, I'm the one that puts them in the penalty box.
Yeah. And so it's very easy to look at anyone, anywhere, and a particular snapshot of an interaction, right? Whether it's a father talking to their son or whatever, and make an assumption or make a judgment about how their particular parenting style is, right? You know, oh my God, you have no idea what happened before, whether this is an ongoing issue, you don't know. Yeah. So now at the same time, you see someone in Walmart beating the dog shit out of their kids. Well, that's, something else. But in general, it's very difficult to look at an interaction between a parent and a child, and you make all these assumptions in your head about whether they're being too strict, too permissive, all of this.
Yeah,
you don't know the situation.
Yeah, you don't know the situation. You don't know their life.
You don't know their life.
It's that too many people take a little fucking snapshot, a TikTok video. If you want to date yourself, what is that called?
Vines, yeah.
You take a little vine, and you've built this whole construct around it. And you don't know.
Context is important.
Right. Context is important. If you don't have all the information, you don't have a fucking opinion. Okay? You're not coming from a place of knowledge.
Yeah. And that's one thing my wife consistently says when she sees, like, for example, the media likes to throw these little Trump clips out there, right? Trump said this, boom. And it's, this little 15-second clip. Hold on.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to see the 2 minutes before and the 2 minutes after so that I can have a full understanding of the entire context. If more people would do that, I think we would be a much stronger population.
Well, but we don't have that kind of attention span as people. We're, the, TikTok videos, we're the YouTube shorts,
shorts are all the rage because that's the longest attention span people have now.
Right.
You got 15 seconds to, at best. What'd they say? I think like 3 seconds in the beginning of your video, you got to catch their attention or they're clicking away.
Right.
Dude, you know how hard it is to be entertaining in the first 3 fucking seconds of anything? I mean, most of my high school years.
Right.
Damn, trying to impress the
and that goes in
female
population. And that influences the behavior of kids now.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course.
Because they have this incessant need to get attention.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they're going to be what they consider to be incredibly entertaining right out of the gate. And they don't quite know, especially to adults, what entertaining is. Exactly. It's one thing to be, to act foolish in front of your friends and they're like, oh, look at this guy, he's so funny.
Yeah.
But you do that in a group of adults and they're like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. What's wrong with your kid, dude? Yeah. Yeah. Did you drop him on his head? Like, what's wrong with him?
And if you don't correct that, if you don't steer it in a positive direction and guide them, then they're going to grow up to be annoying adults.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've seen plenty of those.
Yeah.
We've seen plenty of those.
Then you've got 30-somethings acting like 11-year-olds.
Yeah.
And
Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff. Do you remember that? Have you seen that? It's from my, so somebody was going to speech at a university, right? And there's this,
isn't that like a Pokemon character?
Gorgoth the Destroyer looking chick sitting in the audience. Yeah. You're not familiar with her either? Him, her, whatever. It's this dude dressed up like a chick who's absolutely fucking hideous and like 450 fucking pounds. I might be messing up the name a little bit, but it's something starts with a G, Gorgoth or some shit. The Destroyer is what they call it. Anyway, and they're like, "Yo, I deserve a 10. I'm a 10."
What
on a scale of 1,000?
On the pH fucking scale because you're fucking scale. Basic as fuck.
Yeah. So nice. So anyway, there was an individual very close to that was sitting in the audience, and they just would shake and scream while the person was trying to give their speech.
Right.
And they called her Jigglypuff, right? Because they jiggle, I guess. I don't know. But it's stuck.
Well, it's in the name.
It's in the name. So that's the kind of people we're talking about. That because they were never told no, because they didn't have the proper interaction or discipline growing up, they think they can do whatever they want and there are no consequences. They look at free speech and say, oh, well, that means I can say whatever I want to anybody.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about these free speech warriors, or the ones that, at least that, hate speech should be banned.
Right.
And hate speech is whatever they deem.
Hate speech has become a very nebulous thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, what does the term hate speech represent to you?
To me?
Yeah, to you. When you hear the term hate speech, what do you immediately think of?
I think about, a very angry, negative view of a specific group of people.
Okay.
The Nazis and the Jews.
Okay.
The KKK and the blacks.
Okay.
So when you're like, these guys are fucking worthless and they're this and that and they shall be killed.
Okay.
Hate.
That's
speech.
hate speech. Okay.
When you're just like say something that triggers somebody, it's a hate speech.
Okay. Now here's the question, right? Okay, so with your definition of hate speech, okay, do you feel that speech should be banned or censored?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah. It doesn't matter what I think.
No, but assume for a moment that you were in charge.
Well,
God help us all.
Like I said, in that context, it doesn't matter what I fucking think.
Okay.
First Amendment says you have the right to free speech.
Okay.
You can say whatever you want. And that goes for everybody.
Right.
Is that kind of a, if somebody goes, I'm going to kill that, group of people,
right.
Without using any, disparaging,
Yeah. That particular group.
Yeah, whatever, particular group.
Yeah. Whatever.
Now that's something to kind of, okay, I'm going to kind of keep my eye on you because you're a little unstable.
Yeah.
But, I mean, unfortunately.
Because that's the big push, right? The big push is to outlaw things like, quote, hate speech.
Yeah.
And
let's talk about that.
Okay.
They want to talk about hate speech. We should ban hate speech. And in the same breath, they're going to talk about killing Trump.
Mm-hmm.
You got a fucking, a fucking Z-list actress, Z-list comedian / actress, fucking holding up a fucking fake head of fucking Donald Trump.
Right.
And that's perfectly okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's not hate speech.
No.
I'm protected under the First Amendment.
That's artistic expression.
Yeah, fuck you and your artistic... Dude, don't get me started on fucking artistic expression. Fucking the shit that passes as poetry now, it's just fucking oration.
Yeah. Oh, it's...
Yeah. You're not doing poetry. You're just talking.
Mm-hmm.
You're just fucking talking, and that's okay. Yeah. Talk all you want, but don't call it poetry.
Yeah.
Oh, it's freeform. Freeform my nuts, okay? Fuck.
It's like modern art, dude. Oh my god.
I watched a video.
Bad Electrician?
No.
Oh. Bad Electrician talked about modern art, which was actually
it was very interesting. I highly recommend that video too.
I learned a lot from it.
But it wasn't that video. It was just some random video I stumbled across. And the guy was talking about an artist whose name I don't remember.
Okay. But
he basically took a dump in like 30 coffee cans.
Uh-huh.
And sold them as art.
What?
Yeah. Sold cans of his crap.
Feces.
Yeah.
As art. Bruh.
And he...
yes, people paid a ridiculous amount for
it. Yeah. I mean, it's in like art museums.
Oh my god, dude.
And here's the best part.
Okay.
So he did it as a scathing criticism of the art community.
Right. These people will buy anything.
Right.
Kind of thing, right?
And I don't remember how many, but a significant number of them ended up exploding.
What? From the methane or whatever?
Yeah. Because as it decomposes, it creates methane.
Right.
And it's in a sealed container.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's going to boom.
That's amazing, dude.
Oh, yeah. And that's what he wanted.
Good for him. I got to look this guy up, man. He sounds like my kind of dude.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't know.
Look into that. Maybe we'll do a little deeper dive into that on another episode. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap this up because
he's got an appointment he has to go to. Got to go get vasectomy checked. And I'm kidding. No, that's not what he has to do.
Yeah, no.
Disclaimer: I talk a lot of shit. not going to put his real business out there. That's on him.
Yeah.
But
he'll talk mad shit.
But I will talk mad shit. Absolutely. So we'll see you guys again next week.
Third annual anniversary party
coming up this weekend.
It's going to be a blast. It is
going to be fun, man. It was a hell of a time. Now I heard the weather is supposed to be.
Well, I mean, there might be a little rain in the morning. It is going to be like 60s.
Yeah, so dress appropriately.
Yeah, dress accordingly. Bring a hoodie.
Yeah, I plan on wearing my.
There is there is a pavilion there, so if it does rain, you can stay under the cover.
Yeah. You're not going to melt. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, bring some money. You don't have to bring a lot of money. Just what's the entry fee?
So $10 gets you in.
Okay.
We say a plate of food, but there's going to be lots of food there.
There's lots of food. I've never gone to an event you guys threw and been like, we're running low on food. No,
right. Yeah, we got plenty of food. Yeah. We're going to have, drinks are included in your admission. Mm-hmm. We're going to have soda. We're going to have water. We're going to have beer. Just remember, we have a limited supply. We're going to try to bring plenty. Yeah. But if you
don't be an asshole.
If you want to kick back a 12-pack,
right.
We're going to run out.
Yeah. Bring your own.
Yeah. Feel free to bring your own bottle.
Yeah.
We're not going to stop you from doing that. Bring a bottle, share it with your friends, share it with people you meet there.
Right.
Share
it's going to new friends.
Yeah. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have bike games, cornhole tournament, raffles. We're going to draw our big gun raffle, which incidentally, all the people that support us at Blueberry Festival, thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Good job.
The Miller's Homeless Vets, they appreciate it. You guys are great. We should have some tickets left.
Better get there though, because they're running out.
Yeah. We do have a limited supply of those raffle tickets left. Yeah. We'll be selling them until we run out or up until the drawing.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, there will be a super secret door prize that may or may not be a Freedom Seed launcher. May or may. Honestly, I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's that secret. Yeah, it's that secret. Because sometimes all that shit slip.
Yeah.
But there will be a pretty cool door prize. Okay. You will have to be present to win it.
Okay.
Which will probably be after our gun draw or our gun raffle drawing. So stick around for the door prize. Stick around for the fun, for the food, drinks,
all that.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah, it's been a blast. The previous 2 years, I've gone to the last two, and it was fun, man. The bike games, they get better at it every year, in my opinion. Tighten up, a couple of things every time. So it's worth it. Crumstown, Indiana. It's about an hour from Michigan City, 45 minutes to an hour from Michigan City.
Yeah, I want to say 45 minutes or so.
Depending on what kind of traffic you run into and the number of lights you hit and all that shit. Ish. So head out there early. It starts at 2:00 Eastern time.
2:00 Eastern time. You can bring your kids if you want. It is family friendly.
Yeah.
There will be kids there running around.
I was going to say there's other kids there, and they do they can go play. There's swings.
There's swings and stuff.
Yeah.
The only thing that we ask is kind of keep them reined in, especially during the cornhole tournament and the bike games, just for safety reasons.
To keep them out of the area where people are doing stuff. Come on, man, use your It's sad to say, but common sense isn't so common anymore. So you really got to tell people, don't let them run through where the bikes are riding. Anyway.
I mean, we'll do our best to try to keep everybody wrangled, but,
I'll try not to run anybody over.
At the end of the day, they're your fucking kids. So
they're your responsibility. That's exactly it. They're your deal.
But other than that, just, fucking let them loose, Have you a beer, let them run around on the playground.
Yeah.
And
there's
if you
huge empty field that they can run around and it's massive.
Yeah, if you don't feel like leaving at the end, bring a tent or something. You can put a tent up.
Camp out there.
Whatever. I don't think we'll have the room for a caravan of RVs, but
yeah, there's some room there.
Yeah, there's some room if you want to pop a tent up or whatever.
Yeah.
just put a sleeping bag down and sleep under the stars, what have you.
Yeah. I'm too old for that shit.
Yeah, amen to that. So yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Hope to see you out there.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll see you again next week. And until then, real quick, we're having a watch party for this debate, and it's gonna be glorious. It's gonna be glorious. So make sure you pay attention to the channel. I'll throw up the information probably later today or tomorrow, and tune in. We're going to comment on it live, and we'll see you guys later. God bless you. God bless Indiana, and God bless the United States of America.
Amen.
Hope you have a great day.